This video is sponsored by Cyanite Esports, the home of affordable professional Overwatch coaching. Our wide variety of highly skilled coaches will work with you one-on-one to develop a program tailored to your needs, and with our 100% satisfaction guarantee, you won't be disappointed. Check out the link in the video description to learn more. Nope, just overview.
Do we win?
Wait, no. What time is it at for you now?
27.
Okay.
Are you...
Ready?
Yeah, 3, 2...
Oh look, Canada's running what China was running, and UK is running what Finland was running.
This is the meta game of comps. One team starts with one thing, the other team starts with the other, and they have to adapt to it. But this is something that we don't have a game plan for yet, so we're building that tonight. Okay, so let's pay attention. So far, the UK is set up to do more. Like, theoretically, they're set up to win. So let's see what happens.
By the way, Canada does win.
Yes!
You spoiled it.
I don't remember if they win this match.
But you see, they realize that it's a bad matchup and they're going to switch already. They didn't even lose anyone yet. They just took a little damage. They're like, oh, yep, swap.
They don't even take the fight. The point doesn't even unlock for another 10 seconds.
Exactly. Too often, both teams will just like get to here and be like, fight. And then one team wins, the control point is unlocked, and they immediately start capping. If you're going into this intelligently, you don't want the enemy team to potentially win the fight and start capping, or rather, you want to win the fight and immediately start capping. So you don't want to take a fight here, win, and then be waiting another 10 seconds for the control point to unlock, during which the enemy team, time the enemy team respawns, and then you're just, like, you just get less value out of it. So there's no point in having an earlier fight on a control point.
Actually, so bad.
I don't remember if Canada wins this map, I just know they won the series.
It's okay, that makes it more intense. I have my crisps here.
What are you, an XQC fanboy?
No, I just support Canada.
Yeah, Louis Canadian.
How do you not know this?
Gross.
You're Canadian!
Look, they all... The team is both... Like, the enemy is over there and kind of over here, and they decide to just go whoop. The McCree gets deleted so hard. There's just... You hear one McCree shot, and then he's just dead. But, like, because they're all... Like, it's not that one person was, like, peeking right side. It was probably, like... Okay, we're looking left. Rotate right. McCree. But they are already rotating. It's not like someone sees McCree, let's get McCree, and then everyone has to rotate. No, it was immediately because they knew what they were doing as they realized that stuff is moving this. So you can hear the McCree, you can hear the Lucy over here, stuff that isn't the tank. And so someone's likely calling, or maybe just all by having amazing game sense. In our case, we would need to call this probably. And this would be the responsibility of the main tank, calling to move right side or like rotate right, look right even. Maybe that's the only call we need. Just look right instead of continuing to look over there.
Wait, you guys realize they're running a Winston instead of a Reinhardt here in a goats comp.
That's because XQC is a one trick.
Thank you.
Lol.
That's an actual comp.
But yeah, Canada played this the whole World Cup.
Yeah.
I think he's not actually one trick, he's just really comfortable.
Real quick, just appreciate this pose that Brig is in.
Not her leg.
That is her leg. Yep. Basically, the fight is won from that moment. Like, one of the things I really want people to pay attention to is how well Canada played around that pillar without getting split up. Yep. And skip. So, just so we know, like, look at this. So how tightly grouped they are from this. This is just a few seconds prior. They're all over the place. And this is fine if you have the game sense to know when to come together. And they obviously do. They're like, oh, enemy team is going... At this point, it's confirmed they're going this way, maybe even slightly before, which is why they're already grouping up. Okay. And they know their plan. This, like, look at this. Look. So well, first of all, the Zen's over there, but like all of your damage. I mean, in this case, maybe the Zen is bait, but this is something that we can definitely do. Enemy team is going to come through. They don't see anything. They don't see anything through the door except maybe this Zen. And right about here, rally, stun, blah, all the stuff. Just explode into the enemy, force them to react to you. And Crimzo just slinging orbs.
Canada, without being seen, like breaking LOS as long as possible, waits until it's a good time to engage, and then goes straight in. So there's no pre-fight poke damage.
All right.
So the Zen probably called when to go.
Oh
in.
yeah, I would say absolutely. So here's the thing, it could be the Zen calling it, but
Or the brig.
you got to realize that you can just kind of hear where the enemy is too. In this comp, what would you be playing good?
Yeah, brig.
Probably
so the
brig.
could be peeking too.
Yeah, totally. Brig could totally call it. If you listen, Agilities uses rally and the whole team just rushes. It's a good play. But yeah, it's coordination. It's knowing what's happening in that situation. So if we play this play, we now know exactly what we're doing. We're all going to group up right there, wait for a call from whoever's making that call, and then just explode in the enemy team and win a fight.
Is the Winston getting the Zarya bubble or the Brig?
I would say probably the Brig because she's more important to the beginning of the fight, especially against a Rhine. We can go back and look at that. In fact, we probably should. So let's go do that. Or, well, we can just see how it's applied going forward here. So pay attention to it. Except they're not doing the same thing. Like, we should never expect the same holding comp, the same strategy to work twice against a good team. So here they're taking play number 2 out of their book and running that. Take the fight. Oh yeah, take the fight at this choke instead. Either way, like we talked about how we want to exploit teams. So with dive, where we want to take a fight on someone who's coming through a choke. So like this is kind of a choke. That is definitely a choke. With any other comp, it's still very powerful to fight a team as they're coming through a restricted space. They don't have maneuverability. They're forced to accept everything that you're throwing at them. And they also know that XQC has Monkey Ult, which is really strong over here. Not to mention, I mean, they really have everything. So they can take the fight on their terms.
This time they know where they want to take the fight. They want to take it up at that choke, so they were all positioned there for it. See, they knew what they were doing. It wasn't a coincidence of just take the fight wherever. They wanted it there because they knew they had the advantage. Or at least they knew how to play around it.
Less time spent trying to understand the game, more time spent playing it. Thoughts or comments on that? It's basically the same strat again.
Oh, Canada.
So just a bit on the Winston play.
Yep.
He's using his jump. He's splitting off the Rhine from the healers, or the tanks from the healers, and then they're just focusing down the Rhine when the Rhine turns around to swing on the Winston, right? Right.
Basically. Something else to think about too. I don't know how often you think about doing this, but like just jumping into the middle of the team and working from there, because Goats has a hard time breaking Winston bubbles unless they're actually focusing. Like even if they focus it, the point is with the bubble in the middle of the team, preferably exactly cuts off heals.
Synced up. Okay. So Canada rotates.
They don't even take a
around.
fight. They see that they have a McCree, and they immediately go to Goats. I love it.
Also, then look at how they're taking the fight exactly when the control point unlocks, so that as soon as they win, they're going to cap the point instead of giving the enemy team more time to respawn.
UK trickles in from 2 separate doors, and UK being more tightly grouped is able to pick someone out who is too far.
I meant Canada. I meant Canada.
Got the teams backwards, perhaps.
Oh, we know. We know
Possibly.
Canada's better.
Canada wins. Who cares? Everything I'm saying right now is pointless because we're going to be talking about it later.
True words have never been
This is
spoken.
simply for the
Yeah, so swapping before fighting.
point of view.
Basically, because, like, we can't do that because we don't know what we would swap to, so we're just like, nah, just fight it.
He swapped to Goats.
Up to goats.
See, they know as well when they're losing the advantage and back out. No, can't.
Yeah, so they didn't take the fight for longer than they could sustain it. Basically, after the Winston bubble went down, they started moving away with the rally.
Canada got way out of there before UK had a chance even to push into them in an unfavorable spot. And now they're the ones who flood back in when it's advantageous.
A lot of what I was saying really doesn't mean anything though, but still just overall fight-wise, the way the flow was determined by what Canada was doing. Canada decides to back out. UK has to come in with them. And then Canada stops backing and pushes back in. UK is forced to back out. Everything was on Canada's terms here.
I think it's a good example, though, of how a clean, organized team is playing. Canada is playing it pretty well.
Blocked by that bubble. Big brain. Oh, it's XQC. Never mind. That was horrible.
Clean, organized team is playing. Canada is playing it pretty well.
Oh, I know. That was actually really good, though.
XQC is so good at Winston that he doesn't even have to think about doing anything. He just does it.
Double grab.
Double trance. But the team with the bomb gets more value. Yeah. It's not really much to say. When it comes down to just like throwing ults at stuff, ults happened very cleanly in sequence instead of all at once. That's basically it. And that's something we'll just get better at as we get better with our pre-planning of fights. We'll know what we're going to use first and what we're going to use next.
And so that I know
I'm just letting you know you got the teams mixed up.
I'm
Kinda important.
tired. Don't listen to me.
I'm just helping.
You're really mean to Rosie.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry, it's mutual.
They know
I don't know if I feel better or worse about this.